All sports, all plays. Yeah. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. 365, we making a plays. You talking the game, get you through the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety topics, living the same. All presentation, sports information. Hitting the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, like working your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces. All sports, all plays.
That'd be absolutely devastating.
This is Joey Owens' show. They've been trying to get me on this podcast forever, and this is the worst damn podcast I've ever been on. So you all can kiss my ass while I win this match.
All right, what's happening, everybody? Welcome to G.W.R. Gonzo'S Wrestling Room, Monday, January 8, 2024. I'm Chris Gonzo'S, joined by Tony Gonzalez and Marcus Fine. How's it going, guys?
All right. Going real good. Well, we'll get things started. Hey, Marcus, we'll let you start off. I know you still had a busy weekend this past weekend.
Hey, how's it going, Billy? Hi, Kelly.
I know you went to a couple of shows and got some results for another show. So
What's up, Hypocrisy Jones?
All right. I got some. First, I'm going to do the show I wasn't at. Our good buddy Roger Moore and Chris Chaos was down at Emerge in Columbus Saturday night for the, what is that called? Emerge 74 Emergence Day. It took place at 4-H Fairgrounds Saturday night. So the results are Big Beef defeated Dylan Cole in the Facebook Live match. Jason Hotch defeated Black Diamond. Jordan Cage and Chris Owens defeated Chase Holiday and Sean Kemp via DQ. Lord Crew defeated PB Smooth. Here's a match I would have liked to have seen. Chet Ripley defeated Cole Radrick. That would have been good. Braden Lee defeated Trey Lamar. They got a new ladies champ, Marty Bell, I think's how he said that, defeated Selena Dean, and she became the new women's champ. And Paragon defeated Daniel Eads via submission in a loser leave emerge match, and he is now the new emerge champion.
Yes,
So it sounds like a good
I've
show.
seen that. I've seen that. Marty Bell, I've seen before. Believe in the NWA. She's pretty good. I like her a lot. Also, I seen where Paragon won. I watched some of In Your House show earlier today, and they was talking about that. Paragon was on the show, so I heard about that some. So
Yeah.
big shout out to Paragon for his big victory, and sounded like it was a good show. Sounded like they had a big crowd. And,
Yeah, I seen it was a full house. I seen the picture.
Hypocrisy says Emerge was lit.
Yeah, I seen he was there. I've stopped in the podcast briefly while I was at the Goodwill in Seymour,
How's it
wherever
going,
on the way
Alex?
back up. What's up, Alex? Well, look,
Hey,
it's
Daniel.
Daniel. We hadn't seen you forever, buddy.
Doctor said Chet and Cole put on a great
They
match.
did. That looks good on paper.
Shout out to his friend Paragon.
Yep, his best friend. Are you still in training, Hypocrisy Jones?
Okay, Friday night, we went to the Outlaw Arena, Indianapolis, WCWO. Hidari defeated Waterboy. Phoenix and Jackson Morgan defeated Max Sterling and Pogo. In a pretty decent match, Zay Gates defeated Jason Levi and he retained his gunslinger title. Kenneth James defeated Mark House in a non-title match. Jordan James was out at ringside and Tommy Two Shoes kicked him out of the arena. And somehow he come back in there and threw the belt in there and then distracted Tommy Two Shoes. And Kenneth hit Mark House in the head and pinned him. And then they all went in the back. And Brody Botkins then defeated Maliko. But then when Jordan James come out, here comes Tommy Two Shoes. And he says, I watched the video and you interfered. So them two talking about KJ and Skull Crusher was told to leave the arena. If they were to come back in, then it was an automatic DQ, if I understood right. And Jordan James defeated David Light to retain the WCW Outlaw title after he knocked out about 4 or 5 referees. I mean, they just kept smacking into him. And finally, Tommy Two Shoes is the one that actually made the pin, but he wasn't the one that started out. They started out with Wayne Silver, then Sylvia got knocked out, and then that other guy, I'm not sure what his name is, and Luigi kept Sylvia, I'm sorry, Angel, and he kept just dragging him off to the back. Yeah, it was pretty humorous, but okay, now you ready for the big one?
Yep.
I got to do shout outs because we might have other podcast people on here watching this from the South. Triple Crown Wrestling. Insurrection took place at the old Ferguson Gym in Ferguson, Kentucky. Kelly and I went south, got our first out-of-state show out in the books. Took place at the old Ferguson Gym. I will have to give everybody kudos on that because when we got to the gym, because it wasn't the building we thought it was, it took, I think it's 8 steps to get into that gym. And when I told them what my concerns was, they had a bunch of people out there to get us up there. Cool. And I shout out to all them people that helped us get in there and set us up in the front row. And pretty awesome show. Adrian Alexander with Morgan Jane took on Charles Colton, and it ended in a time limit draw. You don't see that very often anymore. Time limit draws. Ethan, and if I get these names wrong, forgive me, because some of these I'm not familiar with. Harry defeated Travis Liddell. Eric Porter, who made his debut, defeated lifeguard Izzy Vaden with help from Brandon T. Wilson. Lifeguard Izzy just lost his title to, I'm thinking, let me see if I get this right. Like I said, Flynn Hendricks. See, I'm not familiar with these names, so forgive me on this. So he's wanting his title back. Well, he's got to start from the bottom. Brandon T. Wilson is the promoter. And so Eric won with help from Brandon because he handed him something, a chain or something, and he knocked him out. And then Brandon Wolf defeated Tyler Lee Deputy to retain the Ultimate Championship Wrestling Southern States title. Was you guys in JICW when Tyler Lee Deputy was there? Was he at the...
I saw him. We've seen him somewhere.
We've seen him somewhere.
Okay, well, he was down there, and I was shocked.
I think it was Martinsville.
Yeah. I wasn't sure if it was that show or not. I couldn't tell, but yeah, he was down there, and that was a pretty good match. Then main event, Marty Clay defeated the Triple Clown Wrestling's All-American champion, Flynn Hendricks, via DQ, and Flynn low-blowed him. So it was an outstanding show. Got to see Superfly Johnny Lee. He's part of the Nice Guy Andy podcast. The Nice Guy Andy podcast, as well as the... Hang on a minute. I said I got to write these down. There's a couple podcasts. The Joe Monroe Show, and he may be on here. And the Nice Guy Andy podcast are like us from Kentucky.
Okay.
They go around and cover the shows, do interviews. They do what we do up here. So it was nice to meet them. And I also met another lady. Her name was Jane Leslie Constant. She's a writer and host for Pro Wrestling World. So, pretty good show.
Okay.
And I give everybody, I thank everybody. They very accommodating, fantastic. So thank you everyone from down there. So,
how was the crowd?
I think we counted 90. I think, and they were hot.
Good.
And that's another thing. It's Kentucky. They're governed by the athletic commission, so they got guardrails up. And before they started the show, they said, "You don't cross that guardrail.
Yeah.
Whatever you do, you don't cross it, and you don't throw anything across that guardrail, or them security guards will be on you because they have to. It's the athletic commission. It's a whole different.
I was gonna say you had to have a license to wrestle down there.
Referee, I think any of it. I think managers, everything. I think.
Something else was fantastic. Was it very old school? Was some of the wrestlers came out with signing autographs as they were making the loop and taking selfies. They didn't do selfies in the 80s, but they did sign autographs, and it was awesome. So very well done show.
Okie dokie. Well, also, Marcus, I wanted you to give a plug out to your friends there.
Oh, yes. Tomorrow night, Tuesday, 10 o'clock on the Discovery Channel, the Micro Wrestlers will have their debut show. Sorry, guys, can't remember what it's called, but they're starting to do a documentary on the Micro Wrestlers from Pigeon Forge, the Micro Wrestling Federation.
Little Brawlers or
something like that.
Yeah, Big Little Brawlers.
So, Little Brawlers, Kelly just shouted. 10 o'clock tomorrow on Discovery. They make their debut. I've seen clips. This is going to be a good documentary on these guys. So
that's awesome. That's fantastic. Okay, well, Marcus, you got anything else, or I'll get started with our.
I'm all good.
Okay, well, I'll get started here with our pro wrestling report. Going to start off with NWA Power. Did you get to see that, Marcus? I know you was busy.
I ran out of time.
I will go over that real quick. The first matchup was Alex Misery taking on Joe Alonzo. I like Alonzo a lot. I think he's one of the better wrestlers that they have in NWA. Alonzo won that match. We had a three-way with Anthony Cantina and Storm Thomas and Magic Jake Dumas. Dumas was the winner in that match. And then we had an NWA World Tag Team title match with Blunt Force Trauma beating the Fixers. That was a pretty good show. I still think they need to get more athletic. I think the more athletic wrestlers they use, the better off they're going to be if they want to get more of an audience. And this weekend, they got a big TV taping, and all those shows that they're taping goes directly to the CW app. And I don't know if they're doing 4 shows at a time or 8 shows at a time. I know they're doing 2 tapings this weekend. So, look, you can get the CW app for free, and hopefully they do well and continue to grow. Next up was NXT. They started off a big first match out of the gate. NXT Women's Championship. Lara Valkyrie beat Blair Davenport. Really good match, really physical. I really liked it a lot. Roxanne Perez beat Ariana Grace. I really like Ariana Grace. She is the daughter of Santino Marella. I think she has the it factor. I think she is really, really good, and I think she's going to be a big star. Next up was Fallon Henry beat Tiffany Stratton, and the stipulation for that was now that Tiffany has to go to work on Fallon's horse farm. That's a throwback to Jimmy Garvin and I believe it was David Von Erich.
David Von Erich.
David
Yes,
Von
when you said that,
David
that's
Von
what
Erich
it flashed to.
beat Jimmy Garvin, and so Jimmy Garvin and his I think it was Sunshine. I think
Sunshine.
it was Sunshine. I don't think it's Pressure. I think it was Sunshine. They had to go work on his farm and do all kinds of cleaning the
Washington
barns.
Dog's
And,
the one I remember.
yeah, so that's pretty
Washington
good.
Dog.
Something you might check out. They had their finals of the breakout tournament. These are all new wrestlers that's just been there for less than a year. Oba, I'm probably not saying this right. It's OBI, Oba Fema. This dude is a beast, Marcus. This dude's probably 6'6", probably 300 pounds, and he is an absolute beast. He won the tournament over Riley Osborne. Riley Osborne's good, athletic, but this Fema, I think he's got star power, and he is a beast. And in the last match, excuse me?
What was this show on? What was this show?
NXT.
NXT. Okay, yeah,
NXT. And then Trick Williams beat Grayson Waller in a number one contenders match that really shouldn't have been, but Carmelo Hayes kind of put Trick into it. So the Trick won that match, and Trick's another one who I think's got the it factor, and I think is going to be a huge star in the very near future for WWE. Probably not this year on the main roster, but I would say 2025 will probably be Trick's. I think he's going to be a big star in NXT this year. I think maybe the following year you're going to see a big star with Trick Williams. Next up, AEW Dynamite. Samoa Joe cut an intense promo to start off the show. Really liked it a lot. Adam Cole came out with his new group, the Undisputed Kingdom. I liked his promo. I like Adam Cole a lot. I'm not sold on the group. I don't like some of the people that's in the group. We'll see. I mean, you got to give it a chance. So we'll see how it goes. I love it. It's just a tough situation because MJF, there's rumors that he may have surgery, could be out for 6 months to a year. And then you've got Adam Cole, who's also injured. So you got the two main parties involved in the storyline that can't do anything. So it's kind of a tough situation. Yeah. Austin said, do you remember Monty Brown that wrestled for TNA?
Yes, yeah.
He said that Obafemi kind of reminds him of him.
All right.
He's a beast. I'm telling you, he's an absolute beast. Next up, we had Deonna Purrazzo make her debut. She's a former Impact Women's Champ. She made her debut there. I think she's very good. I think she'll do well there. Hopefully, you just don't know with the women's division in AEW, but I think she's got the talent. Hopefully, she does well. Christian Cage came out, did a great promo. Then we had Takashita against Darby Allin. I thought that was the match of the night on the show. I really liked it a lot. Also, another good match was Swerve Strickland, and he beat Daniel Garcia. The show had a good pacing. I liked the show. It seemed kind of a new direction. There was no Moxley on the show. There was no Young Bucks, no Omega. Looks like they're maybe trying to go back to the old formula with the younger guys, and a lot of promos on the show. I liked the show. I thought it was pretty good. I don't know what other people thought, but we'll see where that goes in the coming weeks. Next up, I had SmackDown. SmackDown was a really good show. Kevin Owens took on Santos Escobar for the finals of the tournament to see who would take on Logan Paul at the Royal Rumble. Kevin Owens beat Escobar, and we'll be facing Logan Paul there at the Rumble. Karrion Kross with Scarlett, and the returning AOP with Paul Ellering attacked Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits. I think it could be a very interesting group. I'm hoping they can get something with Karrion Kross. I like Kross. I like AOP. Hopefully this goes in the right direction. We'll see where it goes. Io Sky beat Mia Yim in a very good women's match. Started off a little slow, but man, did it pick up, and I thought it was very good. Next up was Butch and Tyler Bate. Tyler Bate making his debut on the main roster on SmackDown. The crowd really liked him a lot, so I think he'll be sticking around. They defeated Pretty Deadly, and Bate was fantastic. And then in the main event, had AJ Styles, Randy Orton, and LA Knight in a three-way match to see who would take on Roman Reigns at the Royal Rumble pay-per-view. Reigns and the Bloodline came out and destroyed everybody. So it ended up not being a match. Basically, at the end, there was no winner. So and Roman's in the ring, very proud of himself. And the general manager Nick Aldis goes up to as they're going off the air, goes up to Paul Heyman and says, "Tell your boy that now there will be a fatal 4-way at the Royal Rumble." And so he has to take on AJ Styles. Roman Reigns has to take on AJ Styles and Randy Orton and can't remember his name now. LA Knight in the probably be the main event at or be the match probably before the men's Royal Rumble.
Well,
There at the Royal Rumble. So that should be interesting.
yeah.
And it would be the first 4-way that Roman Reigns has been in and defending the belt.
Scott Mullins, what's up, buddy? We used to work together
Really?
a long while back. It's been a long while back now. What's up, Justin?
Okay, next up, just got a couple little things I wanted to go over. Saturday night, I got to see the MLW main event from their pay-per-view. It was Matt Riddle taking on Jacob Fatu. It was a very good match. Riddle actually beat Fatu, choked him out, and won the match. Do have a little maybe scoop here. I think Fatu is done with the MLW and will be becoming a free agent very soon. It'll be interesting to see where he goes. Could he end up with the WWE and part of the Bloodline story? That could be interesting.
It would make sense if it did, yeah.
Yeah, and then there's also another cousin or some type of relation, Tama Tonga in Japan. He announced he is finishing up and should be done at the end of January. And he says he's moving to the States. Didn't say where he was going. So it could be interesting to see what happens here in the next few months. Okay. Next up here, I have one fun fact about Roman Reigns. And I told you the other day, Marcus, and I did not know this. Roman Reigns has beat all of the last 18 I can't talk.
There you go again.
Royal Rumble winners in his career. So the last 18
The
winners.
last 18 Royal Rumbles from like last year till 18 years prior.
Yeah. And
I'm
actually,
like,
it'd be
what's
19,
that?
actually would be 19 because he won one of those. So you'd have to count. Can't really count him because he didn't beat himself. So out of the last 19, he's beat all these guys at one point or another in his career.
Well, I don't like Roman, but that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, I have to say it is. One other thing real quick. I want to see if you guys got an opinion on this, who this might be. Hard to Kill pay-per-view for TNA. It's coming up on Saturday night. They claim they have a big debut announcement or a person showing up there say that worlds will collide and you won't believe who's showing up. So, I mean, they're comparing it to when Sting came in or when Kurt Angle came in. That's what they're comparing this to. So who do you think this could be? I have a crazy pick. Chris, what do you think? Who do you think they could be?
I don't know.
Surely it wouldn't be Brock.
I know Sasha Banks is a free agent. That would be huge for them if that's possible. But the rumor is that she's going to AEW. We'll see. Also, you still have I just said his name to you earlier, Dolph Ziggler. Now it's going by his real name. He is wrestling in Japan, but he still could wrestle in TNA also. So that I think that's a possibility. Hypocrisy saying Goldberg. I got one, and everybody's going to probably think I'm crazy. I have a reason why I'm going to say this, and I have no inside information, and I probably am wrong, but I'm going to predict Triple H.
He's going to show up at TNA.
Yes. Not to wrestle, but I think that Triple H could show up there, and there could be a partnership with.
Did he not make an announcement? I watched that, but I kind of dozed off in it.
No, the only announcement was that they was having a pay-per-view where SummerSlam was going to be, and it's going to be in Toronto.
because
That
I
was their
dozed off because it's like, did I miss it? It's like, so if they do a
Austin-
partnership and Triple H shows up, that would make sense, Alex. Actually,
Austin also was typing the same thing as you.
Yep, that's what I think.
Money in the Bank.
Yeah, that's what his announcement was. Money in the Bank there in Toronto. But that's what I'm predicting Triple H, and I'm probably wrong. I'm probably overthinking it. But with the Worlds Collide stuff, the fact that Endeavor has got them signed already to some type of streaming deal, I'm just wondering if it's not going to be a partnership, and I think it would be huge. I mean, I think the internet would break if Triple H showed up on TV there.
People go crazy.
yeah. Well, we'll know soon if it happens because you're right.
Yep.
Facebook will light up like a.
But we'll see if I'm right. I'm probably not, but
When is their pay-per-view?
Saturday night.
So you're going to be watching that instead of football, are you?
I'll be listening to football on my Sirius radio and watching Impact. That's what I did Saturday night. I was listening to the Colts game and watching this pay-per-view MLW, which was pretty decent. Okay, guys, the next thing I got this bracket that we did. It's a 32-man bracket, but what it is it's the top 8 wrestlers from the 80s, top 8 wrestlers from the 90s, and this is according to this website, the 2000s and the 2010s. Now, there could be a person that's on 80s against the 90s. It's on both lists. You have to take that into consideration and who was more popular if he was more popular in the 80s or 90s or that type of thing. I've got the 80s on the same side of the 90s. I got the 2000s on the same side as the 2010s. Yeah, Pox, we'll have you on sometime.
Yeah, we'd love to.
Definitely. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I would love to have him on. Next up, we have in the 80s bracket, number 1, Hulk Hogan, taking on number 8, King Kong Bundy.
Well, we know the answer because that already happened.
Yep.
Hogan. Cage match. WrestleMania 2. Los Angeles.
This is tough because these 2 of my favorites, and I know who would win, so it sucks. But the ranking's kind of weird. I know, maybe not. Number 4, Roddy Piper against number 5, Andre the Giant. Do you think Andre should be behind Piper in the rankings?
No. Not in the 80s, no.
No, So what do you think, Andre or Piper?
Well, if it was legitimate, it would be Andre.
Yeah, but as far as they're counting everything in.
I still will go Andre. You think before he turned heel, he was a big man, a big deal from 80 on.
It's one of the greatest matches of all time. So, and I know Piper was in a lot of big matches too. I'm not taking anything away from Piper, and he's one of my favorites of all time. And I'm a big Andre fan too. But I think you got to go with Andre. See what people think about this. Number 6 versus number 3. Number 3, Randy Savage. Number 6, Ultimate Warrior.
I'm going to have to go Savage. Savage was more all-around pure wrestler. Warrior was a nut, if you want to get to it now. I was a big Warrior fan, but when you look back at his career versus Savage's,
they did give the ball to
Savage.
They did give the ball to Warrior to run with, and I know that they say he didn't do a good job, and I think a lot of that was because of his attitude. I think he did draw. I think that they made him look,
because we went to shows because he was on it.
Yeah, and they made him look bad at that time because he don't get me wrong, the guy definitely proven fact that at times was an idiot to work with, but I think Warrior got a bad rap too at times.
Have you ever watched any Savage stuff? He was professional. If it took 36 takes, he'd do it. Warrior get pissed after the middle of the second one, so I still go Savage.
Yeah, I think Savage too. We've seen this match many times. Number 2 in the 80s, Ric Flair versus number 7, Ricky the Dragon Steamboat.
knew you'd do that. I knew you'd freaking do that. If it's 1989, you got to go Steamboat.
Well, it's the
But you're going to
80s.
have to go Flair. You're going to have to go Flair. Steamboat only held the champion in '89. Flair held it most of the rest of that time. So
We got a Steamboat and a Flair.
I gotta go with Flair. I love Steamboat, but
I'm
is
gonna go
anybody else
Flair.
saying anything, or are we the only ones doing this?
no, we got a few. We got some
Austin
Steamboats.
said Steamboat. Alex said Flair.
You
Damien
know-
says Steamboat.
You know, Austin's gonna say anybody beside Flair. He
You
said
don't
Dudley
like
Do
Flair?
Right. Dudley
You
Do
don't
Right
like
over.
Flair? Austin, you don't like Flair?
Nope.
No,
No.
I don't like Shawn Michaels. So there, you take that, Austin.
Okay, we're down to our final four in the 80s side. Let's do get to our final four in the 90s. Our number 1 versus number 8. This is tough. Stone Cold Steve Austin was number 1. Number 8, The Undertaker.
And
I
this
think you
is
got to go Stone
90s.
Cold.
Yeah.
I mean, Undertaker was big from what? He came in the 90s. He was big the whole 90s. Stone Cold was big from what, 97 to 2002, but that's not counting.
But if you think, remember, Stone Cold's the one that pulled the crap back from WCW.
Yeah, he saved the business. He
Middle
saved
finger
WWE.
Yeah.
Everybody's saying Stone Cold.
I
His
think
middle
Austin,
finger
Alex,
defeated the
Hutchinson,
NWO.
Damien.
Okay, Stone Cold's got that. Number 5, Bret Hart versus number 4, The Rock.
To be honest, I think Bret could
In the 90s,
circles around the Rock. I'm going by ability, not popularity.
Rock got busy, got big in what, about 98?
I'd say Brett.
Yeah, I gotta go Bret too.
Going by 90s. Austin says Brett. Damien says Rock. Daniels, Brett. Kelly, Brett.
It's not going to be Bret. I don't even have to say. So. Okay, this is the 90s. Number 3, 1990s Hulk Hogan versus 1990s Shawn Michaels.
See, now I'm gonna have to do like Austin did with Flair.
Well, see, this is very tough because Hogan was pretty stale in 93, 94, 95. Even when did he turn? 96?
96, but remember in 92 he was at WrestleMania and the steroid trial hit there too, and Shawn was running. I'd have to go with Shawn, to be honest with you, because he did. I mean, even though I hate doing that, Shawn had it.
It's not going to be Shawn. That surprised me. I didn't think people would go Shawn. Next up, number 7, Sting against number 2, Goldberg.
Sting.
Yeah, because Sting was big all the 90s, in my opinion. How he's number 7, I don't, but I think Sting over Goldberg. And I know you're a big Goldberg fan.
Well, I was, at the time, all that Goldberg stuff, his streak. Yeah, I was a big Goldberg fan, but no,
I was never a Goldberg fan.
I wasn't either.
I was
Nothing
never a
against
Goldberg fan, so it's Sting all the way for me. Getting everybody saying Sting over.
Okay, we're going to our 2000s bracket. 2000s, number 1. This one surprised me that he was number 1 for the 2000s a little bit, but number 1, Chris Jericho, taking on 2000s Shawn Michaels.
Well, now I'm going to have to pull the Y2J.
Remember, Michaels didn't come back to what, 2003?
Yeah, when was okay, now that's interesting you said that. When was the WrestleMania where he lost to Stone Cold? Like 98?
That was 98.
And was he out like a dozen years?
He went a dozen. I won't think it's about 5 or 6 years.
Well, I'm going to have to go Y2J.
2000s, I'm going Jericho.
Okay.
We got looks like 3 Jerichos and 4 Jerichos and two Michaels in the comments.
Okay. Yeah, I think it's going to be Y2J. Okay, next up, Randy Orton in the 2000s versus The Undertaker 2000s.
So I gotta go Orton. Well, wait a minute. No, I'll do Taker for that. Now, if you go 2010, I'd go Orton, but the 2000s, I'll go Taker. Right? We're in the 2000s, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I'll go Taker.
Man. What do you think, Chris? I think Taker.
I'm
When
with
did
Taker.
Evolution start and all that? Because he was still a pup when he was part of Evolution.
Like Taker got it. Next up, Evolution. I don't know what year that was. Next up, number 6, Kurt Angle versus number 3, John Cena. Angle came in what year? About 2000?
It was later than that, wasn't it? Yeah, it was later than 2000.
No, because I seen Stone. Stone Cold beat Kurt Angle in 2001 in Indianapolis. So Kurt Angle was the champ in 2001.
Yeah, no, John Cena.
No, John Cena. Well, that was
How about
mid.
2000? Cena debuted against Angle
Yeah, but I don't
as
think,
the prototype.
yeah, but I don't think it was.
I
I think
think
it was a little bit later than 2000 because I think because Austin would have just been born. I think Austin.
I'm gonna go with Angle.
Yeah, I'm going Angle.
What do you think, Chris?
Oh, I'm going Angle in the 2000s.
Okay, last one here in the 2000s. Number 7, Edge against number 2, Triple H. That's tough.
I'm going Hunter.
I'm going Triple H as well.
Austin, what are you going with? Triple H or Edge? Your favorite? It's gonna be Triple H, guys. Okay, we got our 2000s and 10s. It's 2010s to we start the 2020s. 2010, number 1, John Cena. Taking on number 8, Roman Reigns.
I'm going Cena. I hate Reigns.
Oh man,
I'm
gonna go
not that big
Cena.
of a fan of Cena either, but
I think I'm going Cena. Next up, 2010s, number 4, CM Punk versus number 5, Brock Lesnar.
I'll go Brock.
Austin says, remember, nothing that Reigns has done since 2020 counts.
See, if you
Austin went with Punk. I'm going, well, he don't like Brock either. I'm going Brock.
well,
going
and
Brock.
I think Brock even had a more successful UFC matches, and I know
Oh,
we're
that's
not talking that.
Looks like Brock's going to get it. Next up, number 6, Seth Rollins, the 2010s versus number 3, The Undertaker.
Well, I'll go Seth. Taker's starting to wind down.
That's what I think. I mean, Undertaker still has quite a bit of stuff, but when was his match with Shawn? 2 matches with Shawn. It was after 2010, wasn't it?
Oh, I'm not sure. I think so.
I think everybody's going with Seth, so it's going to be Seth. And then our last one of the 2010s, number 7, Daniel Bryan against number 2, Randy Orton.
I'm going Orton.
Yeah, I think I go Orton too.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Orton.
Gonna be Orton. Okay, we're gonna go to our final four in the 80s. We got 80s Hogan versus 80s Andre.
Well, we go how that happened. But the thing is, Andre also had victories over Hogan too.
Yeah, he did.
I'm going Hogan.
Yeah, I think the early 80s Andre's got him because he traveled all over the world. He was such a big attraction. But when you get there to about 85 on, Hogan was the biggest thing going. So I think
All right, sorry. I had personal stuff to take care of. What did you say now? I'm sorry.
I said, Andre would have him probably in the early 80s.
And he did.
But when you get to about 85, when Hogan got big, it was all Hogan, I think. So I think it's got to be Hogan. But it's going to be close, it looks like. We've got quite a few Andres on here.
I'm still going for Hogan.
Okay, well, I'm seeing 3 Andres, 1 Hogan, 2 Hogans, 3 Hogans.
I'm gonna say Hogan.
Well, looks like it's going to be Hogan then.
Was it close?
Yeah, 4-3.
Wow, that's fantastic. Oh, honestly, that's fantastic.
Next up in the 80s. 80s Randy Savage versus 80s Ric Flair.
Yeah, I've seen that too. WrestleMania 8. Didn't Savage beat Flair in WCW also?
That would have been in 2000s though.
True.
I think you got to go Flair.
I'm going Flair for the 80s.
I'd probably go with Savage in the 90s.
Let's see.
But
Well, Austin says Savage. Hypocrisy says Savage. Damien Savage.
Well, there's 3 Savages. We all 3 said Flairs.
Alex says Flair.
There's 4.
Flair by 1.
Flair by 1. Okay.
Ooh, boy, I love this.
Okay, 90s. Stone Cold Steve Austin, number 1 seed, taking on number 5 seed, Bret Hart. This is the 90s. That's tough because, like you said, though, when you take once Stone Cold hit big in 97, he saved the business. But Hart was big until he left from about 93 to 90. He left, 97?
Mm-hmm. And if you remember that WrestleMania match where he made Stone Cold pass out,
yep,
it's one of the best matches out there for WrestleMania matches. Man, I'm on Bret.
Well, we got an Austin, we got a Bret, we got Austin saying just more rounded. I don't know what that means.
He's talking about Stone Cold. He's saying Stone Cold's more rounded.
Okay.
Damien says Stone Cold.
Looking like Austin, probably. I think Austin. I think I like Bret, but Stone Cold saved the business.
Oh, now that he did.
You know who I'm picking.
Yep.
And Bret screwed Bret. So, okay.
Okay. Number 6 in the 90s, Shawn Michaels against number 7, Sting.
Oh, man, could you imagine? I'm on Sting because I hate Michaels. Well, I don't say I don't hate Michaels. I just don't care for Michaels. But I like Sting. I'll go Sting.
I'm going Michaels.
I'm going Shawn. Close. So we got 3 Shawns.
Come on, Stingers.
Oh, we got a couple of Stings. Let's see.
We got 4 Shawns and 2 Stings.
Right now. Well, he's got Sting too.
Okay.
So 3 Stings. So it's 4-3 right now. I'm going to say Shawn. Okay, guys. Let's get down to our final over here in the 2000s. Jericho in the 2000s versus The Undertaker in the 2000s.
I'm still going to go with Y2J. If you did it in the 90s, it'd be a different story. Well, I don't know. Now, wait a minute. No, go back to Taker.
It's hard to remember the years.
Yeah.
Let me ask you a question. They've got Undertaker in the 90s at 8. I think that's awful low. I mean, you've got.
Well, if you think about it this way, they didn't really start counting streaks yet because nobody really thought about it.
But you got Goldberg at 2, and you got Taker at.
Well, no, I don't agree with that at all.
So I think Undertaker
Okay,
was
so
2.
where we at?
Okay.
2000s?
Yeah, 2000s. We've
Did you
got.
start talking about the 90s?
I know.
You get me
Okay,
confused.
you got Jericho against Undertaker.
I'm going to take her.
2000s.
2000s?
We've got a Taker, and a Y2J on the screen. And you said Y2J. So that makes it 2-2. Oh, man. I'm going with Taker.
I'm going to go Taker as well.
Let Taker got it, guys. Next up, Kurt Angle in the 2000s against Triple H 2000s. A lot of people are going to say Triple H, and I'm not saying I disagree, but people forget that when Angle went to TNA, he had and don't get me wrong, he had great matches at WWE, but he had great matches at TNA too. And a lot of people, that goes unnoticed.
I'm going to go Undertaker. Or no, sorry, Triple H.
Well, looks like it's going to be Triple H.
It's going to be Triple H.
You know it's Triple H when Austin goes against Angle. He goes Triple H. Okay, 2010s. We got the Cena against Brock Lesnar, 2010s.
I'd say it better be Lesnar.
I'll say Lesnar.
I'm going Cena. Well, as far as that goes, Kurt was in drugs and WWE towards the end too, not just TNA.
Looks like Cena's going to win by 1.
Is it really? Wow.
By 2 now.
Yeah. Okay. Last one in the 2010s. Here we got Seth versus Orton. That's tough.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
I'm going Orton.
I think go Orton too.
I'm going Orton.
Well, we got a couple Seths here. We got 3 Ortons and 2 Seths. I'll give it a second here. We'll get down to our final 8. Another Orton. That looks like it's going to be Orton. Okay, guys. Down to get who gets to the final 4 from the 80s. We got Ric Flair versus Hulk Hogan.
I knew you'd do that. I knew it. I had a feeling that's what would take place. Flair had it longer. I'm going to Flair. Hogan was close, but Flair still came in the 80s as a champion. I think like 81, he's hit his second. But Hogan held it longer, consistently longer.
But when you think what Hogan did to the business, with Vince too, Vince pushing it.
Yeah, you're right.
That's tough, man.
Because if it wasn't for Hogan, I don't know where we'd be today.
That's true.
I'll go Hogan. Yeah, after you said that.
I hate to go for. I'd rather go for Flair, but I'm gonna go with Hogan. But it's close right now.
Did Dusty Rhodes not make that list at all?
Where you
going? Man, I'm gonna go Hogan.
Looks like. Let me see here.
And Hypocrisy Joe still hates Hogan. And Kelly said Hogan, so it's gonna be Hogan.
Okay, he's gonna represent the 80s. Okay, 90s. See who goes to the final 4. We got Shawn Michaels versus Stone Cold. That's tough because
Stone Cold.
You know, yeah, Shawn was big from probably what 93 till 98, but Stone Cold was big from probably 97 to till into the 2000s, but you can't count that. But again, I think Stone Cold saved the business, so I gotta go with Stone Cold. Also talking about Hogan and Flair, both terrible people. Yeah, we're not going by their. Look like it's gonna be Stone Cold. Okay, next up, 2000s, Undertaker versus Triple H.
Undertaker.
And this was a 2 seed against a 5 seed. Triple H was a 2 seed. Undertaker was a 5 seed.
I'll go Undertaker. Yeah, Undertaker.
I think Undertaker also. We got 2 Undertakers, guys. What do you guys think? 2000s, who was bigger, Undertaker or Triple H? We got our first Triple H, but we've got, looks like it's going to be Taker. And our 2010s final. This is what it should have been probably. I got number 1 seed Cena against number 2 seed Randy Orton.
Orton.
I'll say Cena.
I'm going Orton.
That's so close. Orton was such a workhorse. Man. I'm going Cena. So where we at here? Austin says Cena. Kelly says Orton. Damien says Orton. Alex says Orton. Damien's trying to vote twice.
I think it
He's passionate.
looks like it's going to be Orton.
Is it going to be Orton?
Did Marcus say Orton too?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, this is our final 4 representing the 80s. Hulk Hogan, and he will be taking on representing the 90s. Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Lord.
And I'm voting for.
See, now you got to think, because Hogan changed the business and Austin changed the business.
Yep.
Just 2 different decades.
Yep.
I will go with Austin. Bigger draw, bigger merch sales.
I'm going with Austin also. And the reason is because that fucking Hogan never showed up at Market Square Arena when I was there.
And if you actually kind of look at the opponents, Austin still, I'll still go Austin. Hogan was at all my shows, so I don't.
Not mine. Damn it, Dale. Look like it's going to be Stone Cold. So Stone Cold is the 80s and 90s representative from that side. From the 90s. And he will either be taking on Undertaker from the 2000s or Orton from the 2010s.
I'm going Taker. I'm going with that streak and everything else.
That's tough. I think I'm going Taker.
I'm going to go Taker.
Okay, we got 3 Takers and we have 2 Ortons. We got 4 Takers. Looks like it's going to be Taker. Yep.
Oh, man, Taker and Stone Cold.
I'll tell you what, though, that final 4 is, you got Hogan, Stone Cold, Undertaker, and Orton. We could say that's the Mount Rushmore, and I'm not saying it is, but I'm just saying, that's a decent.
Mm-hmm.
So Stone Cold versus Taker. It's like the argument about Stone Cold saving the business, but some people could say Undertaker is the business because of his longevity from 90s, 2000s, and 2010s. You can make that argument.
Oh, I'm going Taker. He's got more wins at WrestleMania because he's only got 2 losses, and Stone Cold's got more than that. Gosh, did those 2 ever wrestle each other?
Yeah, quite a bit.
Well, I don't remember that at all. I'm still going Taker.
Okay, I don't know where Damien's vote because I think Hypocrisy's one that said Taker was from that one, so I'm not sure. I'm getting a little confused there. What do you think, Chris?
I'm going Stone Cold.
Looks like it's gonna be Stone Cold, guys.
Whew. Wow.
That wasn't a bad bracket. Like I said,
No.
I really looked at them and because the other bracket it was kind of jacked up.
Damien, Taker was loyal to WWE, but he wrestled for other companies in WWE. He wrestled for WCW before he ever came to WWE.
Well, NWA.
Huh?
NWA.
Yeah, NWA or
Well, he may have been. It may have even been WCW a little bit.
so I thought they were WCW.
It was
for
NWA
a
and
little
then
bit.
Well,
it
then
may have turned.
WCW started in 91, so Taker was at Survivor Series in 90.
Yeah,
So
so
he
it was
wasn't in
probably
WCW, it was
Maybe,
NWA.
maybe it was just
yeah because he was in the skyscrapers and
Yep.
Big Red. Now we're going even further back.
well, yeah. I mean, the argument can be made for Taker. I mean, when you look at his longevity, that's hard to match. I was trying to remember. I seen an interview with Flair, but I can't remember who he said. He talked about the three biggest. Oh, here it was. Let's see if anybody can guess this. The three biggest audience reactions he ever seen. Flair seen. Of course, Hogan was one. Stone Cold was the other. Can anybody tell me the third?
The third, like, Pops?
Oh,
What, when they come out? Or
when they came out and the crowd went crazy.
I'm going to go Triple H because I remember when he came back from that injury. When he came back from that injury, it took them forever to get that crowd to shut up.
Let's see if anybody can give me this right answer. Nope, not Kurt Angle.
I guess it wasn't Triple H then either, was it?
No, when Triple H. When you think about this, Marcus, you're going to say yeah, but there's a reason for it too. But
Don't tell me it was CM Punk just like a few weeks ago.
nope. This was when Flair was wrestling.
He hasn't retired yet, has he?
Well, true. He's probably going to be Sting's retirement match. The question is, Austin, Ric Flair was in an interview I seen the other day, and he said the biggest crowd reaction he's seen wrestlers get crowd reactions was Hogan, Stone Cold, and he named another one. And I was seeing if anybody knew the other one. Not Brett, not Bray Wyatt. I can give a hint, but if I give a hint, it's going to give it away, and Marcus is going to know it.
The Rock.
If I give the hint, you'll know it. So I don't want to give that hint.
Okay, well, before you announce it, then give the hint.
A huge superstar, but only in a certain area.
Is it your favorite man? Or are you talking... So is it your favorite?
Who's my favorite?
Big D?
No.
We talking WCCW?
Yes.
It's one of them on-air guys, Ed.
Yes, it was Kerry Von Erich.
Because I was thinking Dusty Rhodes because he got huge pops too. But
Oh yeah, he did too. But he said the biggest, loudest reactions he ever seen was with Hogan, Stone Cold, and Kerry Von Erich. And Kerry Von Erich in Texas, and they wrestled. People forget that them stadium shows they did had 30, 40,000 people. And I think the show he's talking about is when he beat Flair for the belt. You know, David had passed away, and the crowd was going crazy. And he said Kerry Von Erich. But don't get me wrong, crowds in Texas went crazy for the Von Erichs every time they came out. Every time they came out. And a lot of people don't realize. I'll tell you, Austin, you should go back and watch some of that World Class Wrestling. I think you would like it. I think it was very action-packed type wrestling.
Yeah, it was very good.
Because I know some of the old school stuff Austin thinks was boring. I think World Class, they were kind of on the edge. Well, guys, I think that's it for this week. I thought that bracket went pretty well.
Yeah, I did too.
And next week we're going to do. I think Austin's coming on with us. We're going to ask Misery if we can get a hold of him, and each person's supposed to come up with 5 questions to ask everybody. It can be any kind of question, pro wrestling question, but any kind of pro wrestling question, whether it's old school, new school, whatever. And we're going to do 5 questions each, and we'll do a quick rundown of the wrestling. You know, I know Marcus, I don't think it's going to any shows this week.
No, we're not.
But we'll go over some.
We're not as of now, but you know how I am. But
yeah, true. Well, we'll definitely want to talk about this big thing that's going to happen to Impact. We'll see what it is.
All right. Well, we appreciate everybody watching. We'll be back next Monday. Please hit that subscribe button on YouTube at Gonzo'S Sports Room. Like and follow Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, Instagram on Gonzo'S Sports Room as well. Hope everybody has a great night. See you next week. Where's my button?
That'd be absolutely devastating.
This is G.W.R show. They've been trying to get me on this broadcast forever, and this is the worst damn podcast I've ever been on. So you all can kiss my ass while I win this match.